Reginald here. Happy New Year, everyone. For those of you who have watched my streams, you already know this, but my data is now in a public-facing spreadsheet. I've also enabled copying and downloading of that datasheet so that you can play with the data more freely. This data is provided without expectation of payment or whatever. It's just free. Here you go. Enjoy it. I hope you find it useful. Consider it my Christmas/New Year's gift to the Darktide player base. It's basically full of hundreds of hours of my time and other players' time, which I've used in my own videos in the past. I will always keep this data free, and will be making efforts to keep it updated where that's appropriate. Now, I want to address a few things about this dataset. First, if you want the full details on my methodology, just go here and watch this video. Second, this dataset is fundamentally an experimental dataset. That means it does have flaws, including player performance, aging of data, data entry issues, selection bias, and so on. I'm not sitting here saying this dataset solves for every single issue in Darktide. What it does do very well is show peak performance on a weapon set into a set of targets in a realistic situation with active enemies. This is because I am fighting in a choke point. Choke points are ubiquitous in Darktide, and I have done my testing set in other choke points on other maps and gotten identical or near identical times as this choke point. So the data is fairly stable at least. I often quote about a 4-second margin of error. The reality is though, when I perform the test in as mechanically self-similar a way as possible, I get about the same time in the same situation down to the second in most cases. But for safety and accuracy, I usually say about 4 seconds is my margin of error. Third, the dataset alone pretty much excludes context. If you've ever watched one of my streams where I do testing live, you can actually learn a lot about how a weapon engages with enemies that just doesn't translate into a spreadsheet. The spreadsheet times to kill are useful, but they aren't the whole story. They're an idealistic representation of the best possible outcome. Nothing I can do about that, really. Drop by my stream sometime if you have questions you want answered or want more context, I guess. I'm working with the tools I have. Next, I want to announce properly that I have opened memberships on my channel. There's a link in my description if you want to join my channel, as well as the join button, which is right next to the subscribe button, which if you haven't clicked by now, I don't know what to do about it. Here's the basics of my membership scheme. My dataset will always remain free. My videos will continue to be shipped the way I've been shipping them. For now, I have 3 levels, and the highest level is the most expensive. The first level is really just the support me option, and I'm very grateful to Agayek for being my first member, and to Vinny for his incredibly generous donation of 5 more membership gifts. My middle tier includes formal shoutouts on every video, and I'll be setting up a members-only chat space once I get some members in that category. The most expensive one offers members-only videos. I suspect literally no one will go for this option, but I wanted to provide actual value if someone did. The value proposition is this. If you have a specific weapon or talent pool or whatever you want to put through my battery of tests in Darktide, or even another game like Helldivers, if you want, and you are at this highest support level, you can request that I study your weapon or build. I will make a video about it, including all the context from my assessment, and I will put that in the members-only space for you and any other members to watch. The data results from that study will be going into the publicly available and permanently free spreadsheet. I'm never paywalling that ever, so you contribute to my dataset when you do this, but also you get the members-only contextual video for yourself. Alright, just a short one from me then, really just an announcement. I hope those of you who are interested in this kind of stuff find this dataset useful. Thank you for coming by and visiting in this fabulous new year, 2025. Happy New Year, bye-bye.